So another bay with one person using it and a dog. Amazing. And this is Sunday at 10 o'clock. So I'm interested, if you're from Pembrokeshire, what's your favourite beach where you have it independently for yourself? Yeah, there's enough beaches where you can probably claim that you've got your own private beach. Hi folks. So this morning I'm trying to get initially to a place called Whitesands, which is only 7 miles away. I decided, because I knew how hot it's going to get, that I need to break it down into quite small points. And so 7 miles just to begin with, just to test how hot it's going to be, I'm hoping is reasonably doable. Ultimately I'd like to get to a place called Trefin, I think it's called, something of that nature, and that's 19.5 miles away. Now that might be a step too far. It would be good if I could, because then it kind of keeps me on that sort of 20 mile that I've seemed to have managed so far. But I'm noticing, as predicted, it is starting to get more challenging in terms of the ups and downs. Right, no more talking. I can just feel myself. Oh, do I want to move? Do I want to move? Yeah, I need to move, Nigel. Right, no more talking. Let's get walking. Ooh, bit tricky. Great signs these now. This is a diddy one actually. This has got to be the smallest one I've seen. But I love the way they're carved out. Yeah, around here. You get some great views from here. Mind you, I can't complain. I think I've been pretty lucky on the sleeping where you have a view perspective. Always great when we have the targets in sight. It gladdens the heart and speeds the feet. So that is St. Justinian's, and basically it is the light boathouse. Not a lot else there. There's a little bit of camping, 1 or 2 houses. So I'm taking a little bit of a rest inside the RMLI shelter. Out of the sun, quite a relief. I'm just reading some of this here. Update, I've just tried to text, but I can't get any signal. However, I've got a note of this, so I can do it when I get home. So thanks to the lifeboat service for giving me shelter out of the sun. Here we go, Whitesands Bay, my next target. Quite a few people there by the looks of it, which hopefully means a degree of civilization, and not only just being able to get hold of water, but hopefully some other things. Just thinking, I've probably seen more wild horses, ponies than I have sheep. what horses are thinking when they stand there looking out to sea. That one on the right, he's been there quite some time. Oh dear, look where the coastal path is going. Looks like it's going up there. Oh cracky. So the good news is we've done about 10 miles, which for the time of day is not great, but I didn't set out my kind of normal time. Maybe I think it was about 2 hours later. Bad news is I've got to get up that beast. The good news as well is that it's not totally to the top, but it's pretty near. And no, my lens is not misted up. This is so weird. Bright sunny day like today. Kind of like, sort of like a cloud inverse, but not. And in fact, if anyone knows what this phenomenon is, then pray tell. It's something to do with the heat of the day. Heating the guests. I don't know what it is. Yeah, we have cloud there. And then bright blue sky here. And dare I say it, some very steep steps here. Right in the distance you can see some headland, well I think it's part of an island jutting out as well into the sky above the mist. And I can see the mist going over the countryside. That must be so strange. We're having another misty moment. So the place I'm heading towards now is Aber-bach, and hopefully, in my guidebook it says there's an ice cream van there in the summer. Over in this direction, just on the edge of the headland, is a lookout post. Across the water you can just see and make out what was a quarry. And in that quarry there's an area called the Blue Lagoon. And I'm not sure you'll be able to see it, but I can actually see people jumping from the rock edges into the Blue Lagoon, which must be quite exciting. Over to the left I can see the lookout tower. Not sure it'd be very efficient in this fog. So we have an old quarry here, and people have made different symbols. The White Tower, and we have another one over here. That's a bit more difficult to see in the sea mist. And I guess it was to tell you where Port Gain is, which we're now heading towards. So yeah, we've just watched the sun go down together. Quite a moment that was. It's been a very hot day today. It's been tough keep going, but I'm pleased with the results. So I've managed to do 19 miles. Got to the place I needed to get to. Found a beautiful spot, as you saw, on the headland, in amongst some ruins. Not quite sure what they're for. Don't think it's a quarry, but it could be. Anyhow, I'm very appreciative of my circumstances and where I am. The next part will be challenging again. Tomorrow is supposed to be the hottest day. I think when I last checked, which, because I haven't got signal or haven't had signal most of the day, when I looked a couple of days ago, it was going to be 25 degrees today. Sorry, tomorrow, going to be 25 tomorrow. Yeah, it's not ideal hiking weather. Saw a couple of French people today. They were doing Fishguard to St. David's. We're taking a 4-day break to do that from Paris. So there you go. Appreciation of the Pembrokeshire coastal path. Right, I think that's it from me. Like I say, I can't get over this spot. I've only had one set of people pass me in like 3 hours. So anyhow, no more talking. I need to get some sleep. See you in the morning, guys. Aber Castle, hopefully my place of water resupply. Now that must have been a task and a half. Very pretty. So I'm at a place called Aber-bach, or something like that. Sorry about the pronunciations. So I was talking to some locals, in fact a local lady who lived on a farm nearby. And we were talking about surviving the next bit. In fact, she asked me if we were going to Fishguard. And yeah, I mean, she actually recommended this stream. And looking at it, it's fast flowing and looks clean. And obviously I've got my filter as well. And she was experienced of doing some hiking herself, and she reckoned this one would be okay. And there's another one further on somewhere. So I'm feeling pretty confident with the 3 litres I'm carrying. Sorry, 2 litres I'm carrying, and then picking up as I go along. So yeah, I think I should be able to make Fishguard. It is quite hilly as we go along, a bit later I believe, but one way or another I'll make it to Fishguard, and then I'll feel safe in terms of resupply of water going forward. Right, we're going to make Fishguard. Let's get a move on. I've been moving cautiously till now, but now I feel, yeah, a lot more confident. I have to leave this lovely stream now. It's beautiful there. And that sound, don't you love the sound of running water? Apparently, the locals know how to get down here. There's a rope somewhere hanging down so you can get onto the beach there. Don't fancy it myself, especially with a rucksack. So that is what you call rugged and remote. I'm quickly looking at my map that about an hour's that way and I should be at halfway, which will be about, will actually be bang on. So happy about that, and water's doing fine. So no more talking. Oh dear, yes, let's get hill walking. So I just consulted the map again. The white house on the right is not actually the YHA, but the one on the left I'm fairly certain is. So a little bit further to go, but boy, it's so beautiful. So just so you know, there's a water point just outside there. I'm sure the YHA won't mind. So in the distance I can see a boat, well, a ship, the Stena line. So that would have no doubt come from Fishguard, which is where we're heading. So I've been looking at the coastline and I'm thinking, why is this not as popular? I must admit I've not been really looking at it too much myself. And I think it's just the colour of the rocks. You do get some sheer drops at various points, so it's not without drama. It's just, I think it's to do with the colour. So the stone that you can see in the distance is a reminder of the last invasion of Britain that took place in 1797 by 1400 Frenchmen, led by an American. And they occupied Strumble Head for 2 days before being rounded up. Well, we saw the actual place of that a little earlier along the coast. So this is the Bay of Goodwick. I've had my fish and chips to get some salt back in the body. And I now need to go around that headland, get to Fishguard. And then the headland behind that is probably where I'm going to wild camp somewhere. Now there's Fishguard Harbour. So somehow I can see there's a road maybe going up there. There's certainly a car park there. So I guess I go beyond that. I need my bed. This would make an interesting, well, camping spot. Although, of course, I think I might get shot if I try it. Hi guys, today was really tough. The weather, the heat really got to me. It took a lot to keep going. I mean, 20 miles is a push normally, but in the heat, oh, it's doubly worse. And the thing is, you've kind of got to do that 20 miles because of just the water supply. And I can see why there's no commercialisation around that area, because it's really not that interesting, especially in comparison. Some of the beaches are pebbly. In fact, the majority of them are pebbly, so compared to all the other beaches around, they can't compete. And then the cliff faces, I think I said earlier, they're kind of like dark and miserable looking. So it's not been developed, and therefore you've got to do that 20 mile, and it's tough going. So I eventually got to Fishguard, which is great. I found somewhere to well camp, but because it's near an urban area, it's very much barbed wired in, and I'll kind of show you a little bit later. Now we planned for the last 2 days, so I've got to do 26 miles. Obviously, again, still in this heat, and I believe the scenery gets a lot more dramatic, so a lot more up and down. I don't think it's worth trying to push 26, so I've decided to break it in half. But when I say half of unequal halves. So tomorrow I'm going to get to Newport, hopefully, which is 12 miles, and then do 16 miles, or 17 to get to Cardigan for the remaining day. Hoping that works quite nicely. So tomorrow, 12 miles, and hopefully get some recovery, have enough time to relax, refresh, ready for the final day and the final push, which I believe is a lot harder. Right, so good night from me, and I'll see you in the morning. I'll quickly show you out.